Hi, welcome to Analytics for All. This is lesson 14 in our Python for Data Science course. In this lesson, we're covering lambda, map, reduce, and filter. This is probably the most complicated lesson we've had so far. This is one I recommend even people who are good at programming, if they skip the other stuff at the beginning lessons, check this one out. And you'll probably be returning to this one a couple times to really grasp it because it's not intuitive. It doesn't pick up right away. So again, as always, I have a full write-up on this on my website, analyticsforall.org, which I'll drop that link down in the description. Uh, and in my first lesson, I showed you guys how to install the Anaconda distribution and how to get your hands on the Jupyter notebooks, which I use. But if you can't, if you're working on a phone, a company computer, you can't. If you look for the blue arrows, it'll bring you over to a Python testing shell I've set up, and you can test it here on within your browser, on your mobile device, your tablet, whatever. But I do recommend, if you can, install the Anaconda distribution and work with that, make it easier. All right, so let's go ahead and pop over to our notebook and see if we can understand what lambda and all this is. All right, let's start by looking at a function we got here. We did a lesson on functions already. Here we defined a function x. It's got variable of y being sent to it. And in the function, we're saying whatever I get y, I want y times 2, and I'm going to return that. So here I've got x. I'm sending 4. Bam, I get 8. So 4 times 2 is 8. Well, hopefully we all understand that. If not, go back and check out my functions lesson. All right, so now let's take a look at lambda. L equals lambda y colon y times 2. I'm going to send L 4, and I get 8. So what is this doing? So you got to think about this. So what lambda effectively does is it says, all right, this thing, the variable that is lambda, that's going to be define a function for it. That's what it's saying. That's this up here. So lambda means define the function. Y before the colon. This is your argument being sent to the function. So it's this y up here in the parentheses. Then after the colon, it's what I want you to do. So I got 8 there. If I put 3, it'll put 3. If I send 0, it'll do 0. If I give it no value whatsoever, it'll fail because it says, hey, I need a positional argument. The argument, this one right here, just like if I sent no value up here to this function, it ain't going to work. Same thing. All right? So just go ahead, get some values so get rid of the errors. And all right. So let's go ahead down looking at the next step here. So that's the idea of lambdas. Remember, you see lambda, this is a function. Sorry again. So lambda, the variable that is assigned left of the equal sign, that is your function name, and the variable here is your argument. If there's more than one variable, as we'll see later, we can do that. Okay, so let's look at this next one. And this is a simple one. I got a list 1, 2, 3, 4. Actually, don't need this. I can get rid of that. I'm creating a blank list of list 1 in here. Just instantiate a list. This is what you do if you want to create a blank list. So you can create a new list. And for I in list, I want to append to the new list I times 2. So, and then give me the new list here. And you'll see 2, 4, 6, 8. Now, we're going to do this now using a lambda and what's known as the map function. We're going to do the same thing. So we got the same list. And again, you guys I don't have to write this list again. If you can see, if I go here and just create whoops, I ran it, sorry. But if I just create a new thing and just type in list, it carries over. It knows what I had up here. So we don't need to actually type in the list again. I just put it in there just for clarity. All right. So got the list, and now we know the lambda function here, right? Lambda y. So this is x is the lambda. Y is my argument. So we're sending the argument will be the list times 2. Now, here we have a map function. So a map allows us to send multiple variables here because it's lambda. So I'm saying for list, this map means I want you to iterate and send one value at a time from the list to the y of lambda. So it's the same thing here. So for each variable in list, I want you to append this value here. So for each, so that's what the map does. So map, you notice I have my lambda function here. So this is my defining function, which goes to x still, and send it the list. The list is the value I want to send. And when I type it out, now notice I got the word list in front of this x, because if I just hit x here, what you're going to get is a map value. And if I try to print it, it's going to tell me we have a map object, which doesn't mean a whole lot to us, you know. So to see what's in there, the command list with parentheses around it will convert the map object into an actual list for us so we can read it and make sense of it. 2, 4, 6, 8. So it does the same thing. All right. Again, like I say, this stuff is not easy to get. You got to really kind of grind through it a few times and play around with it. You know, make some changes to the values, see what else you can do. Okay. And let's go ahead and we'll look down at the next one. Now, this may be new to you, import. What we're doing here, and we're going to get into more lessons on this, importing functions. And this, I'm not worried about this one. This one comes with all, but this one comes with the Anaconda. It comes with the shell I've got for you. So you won't have to import it. But we're importing something called function tools. So we're importing a library, a module, whatever you want to call it. All right. I think there's an official name. I'll look it up. I'm sorry. Okay. Anyways, this one's called function tools, and it comes with functions. You didn't used to have to import this in Python 2.0, but in Python 3 it made a change, so I brought it in. And what this we're going to use in this one is a method called reduce. All right. What reduce is going to do is interesting here. So again, we've got our list 1, 2, 3, 4. Y equals function tools reduce lambda, and now notice I got two variables now, a and b, and I'm saying I want a times b, and I'm sending the x to it. And it's going to come out as y. And we'll look here, and it comes out as one number. So what is happening in there? So here's what's happening. What's happening in there is the list here, this is us sending the list to the variable, to the lambda, which is our function, which is wrapped in this reduce, okay? So what I'm telling it to do is you're going to send the first two values here. You're going to send 1 and 2. So I want 1 times 2. And that equals 2. And then you're going to send the 2, and then the next step here, 3. So 2 times 3, and that's going to equal 6. And then we're going to send 6, and the next value, which is 4. 6 times 4, and that's going to give us 24. So that's what you're doing here. So it's reducing, it's taking this value and breaking it down into one value, but it's stepping through. So you're sending the two values across and multiplying them there. Again, take a little while, play with this, look at it, see if you can kind of wrap your head around it. The next one's this one should be, after the last two, should be kind of simple for you. All right, let's go ahead. I'm going to add a few so I can. All right, the last one we're going to do is a filter. All right, again, got a list. List is X. Notice I have some negative numbers and some positive numbers. We kind of got this. So we know lambda, argument's y, and we're asking, and the function inside there is y is less than 0. Okay? And x is what we're sending to lambda. So here. And again, I'm going to print a list out for my answer. What do you think is going to happen? I'm saying this is filter, so this should be a tip here. Right? Inside there, I'm saying to filter. So I'm looking for each one of these variables, x being passed through as y, and I'm saying I want the ones where y is less than 0. So let's see what that comes out. Yep, I got the negatives. So I can say, how about the ones where y is greater than 0? Okay. So there you go. So that's filter, reduce lambda. And the most important one, honestly, to think about and remember, that I've used the most is lambda. I mean, map and reduce, I've used them occasionally. But lambda is nice because it does turn what can be unwieldy functions into a simple line of code. This is what they nickname in Python. It's called a term you're going to hear called Pythonic, which the whole idea of Python, the guy who created it, was he wanted to make it a simpler language, a cleaner language. Well, he got rid of braces and all that stuff. He turned it into, you got the white space. So the idea is to make simpler code. Uh, this may be one simple line of code. I don't know if it's easier to understand personally, but the lambdas I found are pretty easy to use. Just remember, nothing else you take away from this. Lambda means I've got a function now. And if I got it like this, then that's the name of the function. And I've got y, and I've got y times 2. So y is my argument, and this is the function that's going to happen here. So like I said, this is probably the most complicated lesson we've done so far. And it's probably one of the harder ones you're going to do to kind of grab your head around the idea. Again, though, I've got a write-up. You can check it out on there, and I've kind of assigned, tell you what's going on with the codes. And thank you for visiting. Go make sure to check out my site, analyticsforall.org. If you like this video, click the like button, subscribe, leave me a message, and let me know what else you'd like to work on. Thank you very much. This is Analytics for All.